Medianoche.
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 Podcast.
Medianoche.
Podcast.
Medianoche.
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 Podcast.
What's up, y'all? What's up, everybody? We're back, man. We're back with another episode of the Medianoche podcast. This is episode 34? 34, yeah. I'm out in Kendall this time, man. I took a trip across town to meet with one of the more elusive in my end, but definitely a legend in the local graffiti scene as far as I know. But I'm hoping to learn more today. I got Komik. What's up, man?
How's it going, Art? It's good to see you.
It's good to see you too, man. Thanks for having me over, bro.
Thanks for making it out here, West Kendall.
Yeah, man, for sure. I'm here posted up at your spot, and I'm looking around, right, and I see that this is your work area where we're at, and I see that you have done some pieces on some tollway zone signs, and I like the color palettes that I see, bro. Yeah, I'm assuming you've been at it for quite a while, man.
We keep it vibe up here. Yeah, I've been at it for a long time. Started my art career long ago. Actually knew some of the cats back in elementary school and whatnot. But yeah, roughly started tagging around 95, 96, you know. And
Man, that's wild.
Yeah.
In 95, 96, I was 9.
The crusher always hurts.
No, I'm starting to get to that point too, man, where people start telling me where they started, and I do the math in my head at how old I am,
Yeah.
and it's starting to bug me out, you know.
Yeah,
but
I don't consider age. It's a wisdomic thing. You know what I mean? I've been around. I've seen a lot of things. I've seen times change. I've seen people change. You know.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely, man. It's I'm not a fan of this whole ageism thing in hip hop, because hip hop is still kind of young, you know. So people don't factor in that the older that we get, the more mature we get with our craft and the things that we do. We're still contributing that to hip hop in general, you know.
Correct.
So, I mean, but look, man, before we even started the podcast, like, you put me onto a couple other things you do, which I want to get to that later. But tell me, man, what was it like, bro, in the 90s doing graffiti?
All right. So, never really even crossed my mind. I always did. I was a musical kid. You know, always art driven, art oriented. From the get, you know, from drawing 2-dimensional little F-16 fighter pilot jets and crazy stuff growing up to, you know, I got into the music side of things. I started doing heavy punk rock, and, you know, we all experiment at that age, 15, 14, smoke a little, do a little, this and that. And, you know, so I got into the music real heavy. Always rode the bus with some cats that, you know, scribbled on walls and did some things, and I was kind of fascinated by it. Then my life took a crazy turn. Did a little stint in rehab, turned it around, you know. But I met a gentleman, I'm not going to say his name, but a good guy, still know him till this day. And he kind of schooled me in the ways of writing. He went down in the trenches, and I just remember him saying, "Yo, you should write this, man. Like, when you walk out of these doors, buddy, you should be writing comic." So, go ahead.
No, I was gonna ask, like, is there a story behind the name Komik, like, or were you just playing with some letters and you like the way you wrote those letters?
No, that's the absolute truth. I never picked up a pen in the day of my life. I never had a tag, had a desire to write a tag. I just knew people that wrote, like Astro and some of these dudes from, you know, some older crews back in Miami that kind of, you know, you just saw them in 92, 93, 94 after Hurricane Andrew. You just started seeing these things pop up. Enter, Kepos, Wild Crew, all these heads way down south that subliminally, you know, Mir, people like that, AIM Crew, Rage, you know, you just saw those things, you know. And not to touch on Rage real quick, but he was also in the hardcore punk scene, and I kind of knew him through that side in the 90s, you know. So there was that intermingling of the arts. You had the graffiti scene, but you also had the punk rock, hardcore, hip hop scene that was kind of all in one, all inclusive, you know?
Yeah, like you mentioned punk rock, right? And like, it's true, when I was in high school, the people that I was learning hip hop with would also bump. Okay, like I had this one friend of mine, right? His name was Chris, right? I don't really talk. I haven't spoken to him in years, but in high school, he's the one that put me on to like cats like Quasimodo and MF Doom.
Sure.
And those guys, the whole Stones Throw vibe. But then he would play Tony Hawk Pro Skater and like bump punk rock.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then he'll like be like going to mosh pits and shit. And I saw how I'm like, oh, in my mind, I'm like, yo, hold on, you could do both. You know, like, I'm young, so I wasn't sure what was up with that, you know?
So not to cut you off, and I want to get back to that I never really wrote until I met this guy. But I think, in my eyes, the way I view hip-hop, the way I view graffiti, the way I view these extreme, you know, lefts and rights, they're nothing more than punk rock. They're the most punk rock, okay? I'm playing a show one time at Churchill's, and I said something, this and that, to a buddy that walked. What's up, homie? What's good, buddy? What's good, brother? You know, and the dude was like, you're a poser. And I look at this fool on stage, and I'm like, are you serious, dude? You're wearing, like, the atypical punk rock outfit. You are no further from punk rock, brother. I'm up here, I do graffiti, I do the arts, I do things, I say bro, I say dog, I'm a product of my environment. Don't judge me based on that. So I told the kid, I said, do yourself a favor, bro. You think I'm a poser? You're a fucking poser with your shit. Spiky hair, this and that. I said, learn to practice music, write some songs, book a show, get on stage, and then tell me I'm a poser. Okay? So to me, right there, that's the essence of graffiti. That's the essence of hip hop. We're not the mainstream. It's something in us. It's something that, you know, we're just radicals, bro. We're not the normal mainstream cat that says I conform. You listen to any hip hop song and it's telling you a message, brother. I'm not talking about trap music. I'm talking about, you know, the Gangstars, you know, people like that, the people that hit home. You know what I'm saying? It's more than just, you know, what I wear, the way I walk, the way I talk. You know what I mean? It's in you.
Yeah, I came to realize that too, man. Like in learning how hip hop and like punk rock are definitely they're like cousins, you know. They're different genres of music, but they all kind of hang out together.
I never heard it put that way, but that's not farther from the truth. They are like cousins, absolutely.
All right, so let's get back. So you wanted to tell me about. Okay, so
yeah. So basically, you know, I had my trials and tribulations like everybody does. We do our things, we experiment, we play around. Some are stronger than others. Hey, brother, I needed a break. You know what I mean? So I took my little break, met a buddy inside, and he pretty much schooled me on the hand styles. He said, look, this is da-da-da-da-da. This is what you do. This is a get-up. This is a throw-up. This is a tag. This is a this. This is a that. And when I left rehab in the 90s, I had a better understanding of when I walked up to a wall and what I did and who I was hanging out with and how it went down. Now, some of the other younger homies that I knew when I was just playing music and this and that, one, for instance, Quake and Atomic. Those are two kids, and I call them kids. We're about the same age, but I was always 2 grades ahead of them just based on the way we went to school. But those cats right there were the epitome of graffiti as a young age. You know what I mean? They just understood, they read books, they like did the homework, they knew the people, they knew the knowledge. Just as much as I knew about punk rock at that point in time, they knew everything about graffiti. They knew, and you know, yes, I'd seen the Enners and the Kepos up, but they knew Enners and Kepos, and they knew where they were painting, and they knew the spots, and they knew this pennant and that pennant, and what was active and who was active, who wasn't active, who changed the tag, who quit. You know what I mean? And that really, I guess, in a way, I was more. When I got out of rehab, I was more hanging out and tagging and getting crazy on the streets and seeing where, you know, my boundaries lied as a person. Those kids we are the art. We are focused on art. Top Skills crew. That's what they did.
Yeah, like, you know, those guys, bro, like I see them everywhere. I see, but I feel like nowadays, especially now that everyone's older, like they want to kind of legitimize themselves to be able to do what they love, but I guess for a living a little bit. But also, you still see like heads on rooftops, man. Like, you know, I'll be flying drones, and in Wynwood, I'll see like rooftop pieces, or I'll go up there. Like, let's say I got to climb a ladder to go on top of a building, and that's where I saw one of, you know, familiar faces pieces. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And I'm like, damn, you know, people are still getting down, bro. That's actually pretty it's pretty dope. Because I remember when I was younger, right? When I first got into hip hop, because I always drew.
Sure.
You know? And then, so the first thing you gravitate towards when you draw is graffiti. And then you watch the Wild Styles and you watch all these little documentaries and stuff. And and you almost see like, oh, going bombing is like, you got to do it, bro. You got to earn these stripes.
Sure.
So I had hit up Junk, and I was like, what's good? Let me hang out. You know, it was him and Dibs and Runs and a couple other cats, right? And then you see them at their crib, and they're just with a black book, just like practicing, like how I see it right here. Oh shit, you're writing Noche podcast. Damn.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a little Getty for you in a minute.
Oh,
we'll knock that out outside. Yeah.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate that. That's fucking amazing, man. I didn't even realize that. Damn, that's hard. Nah, but listen, so like, so they're there and they're with their black books sitting on like this like round table, just like going over, like kind of doing muscle memory with the same write up over and over and over and
Absolutely.
over again. And then we went out into the street, and I'm sitting in the back seat of one of these guys' cars. I don't even know these guys. I know Junk.
Sure.
But I wasn't with Junk in the car. I was in one of the other guys' cars, right? But I don't know them. And I'm in high school. I'm like in 10th grade.
Oh, shit.
And then they're all passing around joints and shit, whatever. And I'm sitting here like, what the fuck did I get myself into? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I like rap, but fuck, you know how, like. So the first thing they did was creep into the side of, I think it was the 826, and just do this big ass throw up.
Sure.
And it looks so much bigger when you're right in front of it, because when you drive past it on the highway, you're further from it. Yeah.
It's a different vibe.
You know, so when you say getting down on the street, I have all these flashbacks of these crazy ass, you know, like
it's a dirty whorish addiction. It's a dirty whore of an addiction. It definitely is. There's nothing. It's like you wake up, you want to scribble on shit. My mother sees me up in like a gas station in a random place, like, "What's that, you?" And I'm like, "Fuck, man, yes." And I don't know why I did that. You know?
Yeah. Like, how do you balance like knowing that you're writing on someone else's property, but knowing that you love it? You know what I'm saying? Like, mind you, I mean, when I ask you or another person to ask Graffiti that, I'm not asking that in a condescending manner.
No. It's not condescending, because at the end of the day, I pay taxes too. So you ain't condescending anything. I'm just kind of doubling down on my idiocracy. All right.
Like, I love hip hop, and this is the thing. I love it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those guilty pleasures. Like, I appreciate graffiti, but I know that I wouldn't want someone to write on my van.
Graffiti's vandalism, bro. And I'm gonna put it as easy as it is. Graffiti is illegal destruction of private or public property. Okay. And there's no nice way to put it. You can't be like, "Oh, but that's pretty graffiti." No, at that point, now you're sugarcoating shit. You're changing it. You know. So what is a swastika? Is that bad graffiti? But a Christian cross being drawn on another place is good graffiti? No, it's still graffiti, bro. Any way you look at it. You understand what I'm saying? People like to justify and make it like, "Oh, but it's for Art Basel." Nigga, it's illegal. Straight up, dog. I had a guy from New Zealand the other day. I'm buying $400 worth of paint, and buddy's like, "Right, yeah, man, I could just paint anyway, yeah." And I'm like, "Nah, bro." He's like, "Yeah, but the taxi driver," and I'm like, "The taxi driver don't give a fuck about you. That dude was a fare. You're a fare. That's it, bro. It's illegal." So at the end of the day, I don't justify it by any other means than saying I pay taxes too, bro. And if I want to destroy some shit, I'll destroy it. All right.
It's like kind of like not clearing samples for rap. It's like a guilty pleasure in that sense too. It's like, I know I'm not supposed to be sampling this and putting it out, but whatever.
Look,
figure it out.
I see a spot that needs color, and I add that color. Okay. Now I could tell you 20 other justificational reasons. I could say my father died in 2012 because he was cut off of Medicaid after 60 days, and the government said "fuck you," and we paid in our entire life. So you know what? It's kind of fuck you. Fuck you back, homie.
So you know what? Like,
you know,
I guess
I pay my taxes.
Yeah. So like, some people, you would say that they use graffiti as like a way to not only express their artistry, but to kind of just like just get back, like, for whatever reason.
I hate to say it, bro.
You know?
Yeah, because look, I did graffiti. I did some minimal fucking tags on the streets, some throw ups, get ups. I got into piecing in the 2000s, and I stopped cold from 2001 until November 2011. And I know the dates. I stopped, man, because I was tired of it. I was tired of the bullshit, tired of the fighting, tired of the crapola. All right? And I stopped for 10 years. I put out 2 albums in 10 years, punk rock style, with a couple different bands. Underpaid, hit play. We did some stuff. It was great. My boy Johnny Vale, he owns a tattoo shop, Ocho Placas, out there on A Street with Javier Betancourt. They kill it. He used to sing for my band. Then I did another band, and I was still kind of paid attention to the graffiti stuff. But when my dad got sick in 2011 and died in 2012, Atomic came back into my life when I was running a restaurant and says, dude, you look pretty shitty right now. You know, let's go paint, dude. Let's go get it out, you know? And I forgot what it felt like to fucking be out somewhere with no permission and painting a spot, you know? And it was like, damn, you know?
Do you feel like when you was out there painting after all those years and after everything, that like kind of like that adrenaline, those endorphins kicked in, and you just kind of felt more alive?
Absolutely. That was the heavy crack hit I'd been missing for that 10 years. For that 10 years, I was looking for that high, and I was like, wow.
You know, it's funny you say that, man. I can level with you on that, on a smaller level, obviously. But like, you know, the other day, the spot that I'm at during the daytime in Wynwood, they had rented out a DJ and the lowrider cars, and they like parked in front of the store that I'm at.
Word.
And for the first time, and it's been like almost 2 years, I was around live hip hop music, like, and I couldn't stop smiling. It's like I've been so deprived of. I became such a hermit.
Sure.
That all the hip hop that I consume is by myself, out of my headphones, or I'm making it myself. That I don't really get the chance to be around it and outside with people and just sunshine, and I just couldn't stop. It's crazy how like you're away from it for so long, you don't realize how deprived you make yourself because you love it.
You made yourself busy in another aspect, and that's fine, you know. But at the same time, we need these girlfriends or whatever you want to call them. You need to go see these different things. You know what I'm saying? Because we often try new things, and then we stick with them because of complacency, and we forget that we loved other things too. You know what I mean? So yeah, I went with the punk rock, and I was like, oh man, this is what I'm supposed to do. But then I was like, boom, and I painted with the time. I was like, but this is also what I'm supposed to do. You know what I mean? And I enjoy what I do, bro. I get loose on the guitar, but I also get loose on the walls, heavy. And it's the same kind of addiction, same kind of feeling.
If you had to pick, if you were stuck on a desert island, right, and you only had the option of picking one out of the two to do for the rest of your life, what would you settle for?
That's really fucked up and tough of you to say, but it's okay.
It is.
Music. Absolutely.
Damn. Okay.
Absolutely. Arts are wonderful. Arts are beautiful. You know what I'm saying? But until you've heard your son call your name, or you've heard a song that invokes memory, you know what I'm saying? I want to hear.
Yeah, something about that music, bro. I feel you.
It's rhythmic. It's internal. You know what I mean? Seeing is great, but you'll pick up on like, you know, you'll work out another way to see things, but you ain't never gonna hear the same.
Yeah, something about that, man. Because I draw and I make music too, and it's true. Like all my childhood, I spent drawing. I used to collect comics. My bad. No pun intended.
It's all good.
I used to collect comics, and I would draw like portraits and stuff. And then when I got into music, I just kind of got hooked on that. And now it's funny because now when I draw, I have this weird thing where like every time that I do a little sketch, I always start with the eye, the eye on the face first.
Okay.
And then I kind of give up after doing this really detailed eye. The rest of the face is just like sloppily thrown together. Then I just crumble the paper and throw it away.
Never do that. Keep moving. Keep it moving, bro. Draw another fucking eye. Now you got 2 eyes on the face, champ.
I mean, like, what's up? Like, how long would you say it takes you on an average day to do? All right, like, look right here. You have this canvas. What is that? It's like 8 inches or 10 inches by like almost 2 feet.
So that's Timber 84. That dude's heavy hitter, bro. Right? But something like that, dude. Let's just say this, for instance. Okay, my homie RP died. Right? Died of cancer. I knocked that out in like half an hour, 45 minutes. The sketch, the fill. Then I came back and I added a few little wing dings and shang bang bang blah blah. You know what I mean? I had a blast with it. It was like a party. Okay. Now this one, I didn't want to do it. I procrastinated on that shit. That was for a client. That shit took me 2 months. It's all about your drive, homie. You know what I mean? Like same thing with punk rock. I did punk rock until it was like, oh, you got to be here at this time because we're doing this. And I was like, nah, bro, fuck that. I don't work for you, champ. You understand what I'm saying? Like in a sense, we want to do this, but I don't want to work for nobody, bro. Because I'm creative.
Like you want to do it, but you don't want to be told to do it.
Yeah, I ain't on your time schedule. I mean, look, this was a time schedule thing, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when people hit me up and they're like, yo, like, dude, I'll draw dollar bills. I'll post them bitches to sell. And I'm like, yeah. then a dude will hit me back and like, yo, I want one. And I'm like, yeah, the thing is now I got to draw it. And like, yeah. And I'll procrastinate on why I can't do that shit and charge somebody for drawing on a dollar bill. It's ridiculous, dude. It's crazy.
I hear you. It's just one of those things, man, where like you'll do it when you feel like doing it, but then you get really good at it and you don't like being told to do it for someone else. So you just kind of have to fight with that because you want to provide a good service, but on your terms.
Yeah, it's exactly. I've always been on somebody else's terms my entire life working. I worked in a restaurant business for 23 years. And
23 years?
23 years, my guy.
Damn.
Yeah, so it's always like, yes, absolutely. Any way you'd like it, 100%. And then, you know, dude, I lost it. One art battle. I was painting a 28 wall. We ran up on a wall illegally. Bam. Knocked this huge ass wall out. Me and a couple of my dogs. My boy Ruggs. My boy Stacks was out there. My boy Naps was out there. Heavy hitters. This dude Cast 2 out of Brussels and shit. Off the chain. So we're painting this wall. I'm filling in some stuff. These people walked by me like I was an attraction, my boy. Picked up my can, shook my can, and acted like they were spraying on my wall. Yo, I lost my mind, Art. I grabbed this can out of this lady, shoved her out the way as her husband came over, and I fucking started telling them people, I don't work for you, bro. I don't work for you. I know this is cute and everybody's getting their selfies and all this bullshit, but right now we just ran up on this wall illegally during daytime, and we're knocking it the fuck out, champ. I need y'all to keep it moving right now. You feel me? Because people don't get it. I don't work for nobody.
Oh, that was in Wynwood.
That was, but it was on a hot Ave on a poppin' night.
Okay, so
poppin' day.
Would you mind like breaking that down a little bit? Because in Wynwood, there's artwork on every single building, and it seems like it's so normal, but yet you're still saying there's like some hot avenues.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lay it out like who gets permission and who don't get permission, but people get permission, bro. That's the bottom line. There's permission. There's permission walls. There's walls that people are like, you know, oh, this dude from Spain is coming and blah, blah, blah. But don't get it twisted. Wynwood has always been illegal graffiti, okay? Since the 90s, when I used to go out there and, you know, hanging and drinking and chilling and doing my thing, Wynwood was pretty hood and scary to be at. You know what I mean? For a young white dude out of West Kendall, it wasn't the most choice place to be. Now it's all bougie and foo-foo, and the big galleries have moved in and they've said, oh, I want this guy to paint or this guy to paint. And I think it's great. It looks wonderful. It's nice. We have some great artists on the wall. But at the end of the day, there's still walls that are not spoken for, dude.
I wonder if those high-end like galleries and bougie businesses in Wynwood, they allow people to hit up their property almost to get like street cred almost. You know
no, they don't want me on their property. That's the thing. They want the picture of graffiti. They don't want graffiti. Okay, they always want the graffiti. They don't want the graffiti element. They don't want the tags and the bullshit and the smoke and the drug and the, you know what I'm saying? They want it clean. They want the art, and then they want it to go away. It don't work like that.
I had this homie in New York that he bought a store, and so you know how like when you close, you pull down the metal cover.
The roll downs.
Yeah, the roll downs. Okay, so on that was already full of old graffiti, but
straight up.
But he bought a brand new door, like one of those it's like the glass that you can't see through, but it's glass though, you know, that you can kind of see the silhouette of the person on the outside.
All right.
Yeah, and he said that when he bought it, the first thing he did was hit up all his friends to write with those. It's like that ink that has acid in it.
Yeah, etch bath.
What's it called?
Etch bath.
Etch bath.
ETCH
Okay.
bath.
So it's like, and he's like, yo, hit up my door, and then all they did was just completely. He took a picture of it, like
marked it up, huh?
Yeah, for sure. You see all the.
Yeah, should have eat your skin away too, though.
I bet
it's nasty.
Yeah,
bad
you know,
stuff.
actually, I recall seeing. I forgot who it was. I was around when I was back in high school. That they made it. They get like a glue bottle or something.
Yeah.
And they combine certain fluids to like make it whatever. It's this whole thing. But that's wild, man. I also remember like having it's like a marker, but it's not with ink. It's kind of like a type of metal that you write into glass, like mirrors.
It's a scribe. A scribe. Yeah, metal scribe. I got one in the truck.
That's hard. I remember being so sketched out on the Metro Rail, like writing my little tag and looking around.
I mean, that was the best time to write though, because now there's a camera on every corner. Everybody's got cameras. People always looking. People got phones. People take pictures. People snitch. People just like, oh, is that guy doing graffiti? Let's make a circle around him and start watching him. And it's like, no, let's keep it moving, champ.
That just feels like something out of South Park. Like if South Park had an episode where they're dedicated to like the gentrification of graffiti. You know,
It's like that. It's sad. It's
Yeah.
crazy. That's why I told you I lost my mind that day. It was probably 2016, 2017. These people were like, "Oh, let me just pick up your paint and fucking act like you're a monkey and paint on the wall." And I'm like, "Nah, dog, I don't work. This ain't a zoo. We ain't working right now, champ. Keep it moving. This is illegal graffiti." You know, but it has that stigma on camera, on paper. You know, the biggest open air graffiti, whatever.
yo, let me ask you something, man.
Ask
Like,
away.
do you watch? Do you spend time on YouTube? Like, are you familiar with the channel Vice?
Absolutely
Okay, Vice. So you know how Vice has these like little short documentaries on illegal activity,
correct.
and like people they'll wear the shirt over their face and they'll
Sure.
pitch down the voice.
Absolutely.
But like they are totally exposing the underworld of, you know what I'm saying, of just how people do shit. Like, what's your take on like, bro, like how people are just unafraid of just talking about how they do things with like graffiti
Well,
or like
So, and I don't know if you did your homework for coming on, you know, for doing this podcast, and no disrespect either way, but did you know that Vice did a thing on my crew, MSG?
So the reason why I brought it up is because I do remember seeing like on Instagram a quick little about doing a heaven, I think it
Little
was
snipple dits, yeah.
Yeah, so you want to talk about that?
So yeah, it's. I mean, look, man, it's my homie Isan. A couple other homies were in that thing. Chrome, Abuse, Touch. You know, these are all heavy hitters in the game. They're high profile. They know what they're doing. I'm not here to advise anybody on the way they handle business. You know, I don't think they said anything or showed anything that you can't find on YouTube as of right now. I mean, yo, you go on YouTube right now and you put up Renegade Graffiti or some craziness, One Up Crew, bro, you're gonna see some pretty insane shit. You're gonna see some fools running up and just hitting trains and doing wild shit with, like you say, shirts wrapped around in their face like the Taliban. It's crazy, you know, but it's not for everybody, brother. You know, I'm methodical about what I do. I take care of business. I handle my stuff. I take care of my home life. I take care of my business life, you know. Recon, scout it out and handle your business, bro.
I remember some time ago, man, like some dude, man, when I say some dude, like I said, remember how there was that story of that guy on the A26 that he like fell from one of the signs?
Yeah, rest in peace, Kiki, man. That was a good buddy of ours, Enrique. Yeah, Merc. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
His name was Merc.
Merc.
And then people was like, yeah, Merc was, I forgot what crew he was in, man.
KC crew, Kendall Crook.
Yeah,
Kendall
man.
Criminals. Kendall Criminals.
Yeah, I remember that, man. I remember how like that was actually kind of a wake-up call for me personally to kind of stick to music. I don't think that I was cut out for. I already got a thing with heights, you know.
It's just sometimes, you know, like I say, it's a dirty horse addiction that calls you back even when you're drunk and you know you shouldn't be doing the things you're doing, but you know, you never forget what you've done, you know, and you're like, I can handle that, you know. But let's face it, I'm 40 now, champ. To be going up on green signs, that's a little, is the risk worth the reward? Safety, you know what I mean? You got to think about life when you're doing things like that.
Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, like, if you don't do these things, you'll look back on your life like you wish you would have risked more. Just
I'm gonna tell you right now,
you know?
I had the best time of my life, and I didn't even paint in Miami. I went down to Medellin with my dogs, and you know, me and my dog Slabs, we found a spot right there in the jungle, dog. I'm talking about walking through water, champ, to get to the spot, and painted a dope ass crew banger right in the middle of the jungle in Medellin, my dude. You know what I'm saying?
And it's wild because you'll go through these crazy missions to put your name on a big wall, and then like you'll just take a picture of it. And
that's YOLO though. That's what you're saying, you know, like you only live once. So that's why I was like, when am I gonna say that I did this?
And it's like eventually it'll get buffed over. And if you look at like people drive by some side of a building and you know it's freshly painted, but they don't know how many layers. It's like rings on a tree. You know?
See, that's part of my fine art type of stuff that I do, and I hate using terms like fine art and classifications and yada yada yada, but that's what I do when I do stuff like this piece right here. That's under the white wall. That's what you see. That's the texture. That's the grit. That's the dirt. The grime. You know, the years of abuse and that the neighborhood has seen. You know.
Yo, like, what are your thoughts, man, on how nowadays, because I feel like the two graffiti artists that have been able to like legitimize themselves, and now they kind of get contracted to do their it's A-hole with the I, and it's Atomic with the orange. You know, do you feel like it kind of gets old after a while seeing these guys everywhere, and that there should be more people kind of like equally distributing all the space to like put some type of, you know what I'm saying?
Sorry.
Logo on there?
I don't get tired of seeing it. Okay, what they've done, they've branded themselves, and they've branded themselves so well that it's become a household name to you. Some people that may bother, you know, some people may say, oh, why don't you do the fucking A-hole anymore? Why don't you write Atomic anymore? You're doing the fucking eyes and you're doing the oranges. Yo, if you sold fucking hamburgers and that's what made you money, why would you make hot dogs on the side?
Yeah, because when I see,
do you know what I'm saying?
When I see these things, I see like, man, that's the come up, you know. But like, I do have some homies that, you know, that they were in the whole hip hop scene, and they see how A-hole's eye is just everywhere, and they're like, man, I'm tired of seeing that shit, man. Like, they're just mad bitter.
You know,
and it's
but
like, damn, bro.
But
like,
that's human nature, and people are always going to be bitter about life like that. Medellin, real quick.
So it doesn't matter if I'm there.
oh, that's hard, bro.
Yeah, bro. There are no names on that thing right there. That's my crew. That's Miami style graffiti in Medellin, my dude. Medellin style graffiti right there, champ.
Yeah, you're like, so I see his MSG right by like a creek.
That's it,
under a bridge. You know what's funny, man? Like, I remember when I was so I'll tell you a quick little story, bro. Like,
look at that. They hated.
Oh, right by La Reina.
But you're gonna know that over a piece, correct? If you saw that in Medellin, dog, and you didn't know nothing about graffiti, and then you saw A-hole's eye and Winwood, you'd be like, motherfucker, I saw that shit in Medellin.
For sure. It's like
you see what I'm saying?
Those who know,
branded.
know. You know what I'm saying?
Branded.
Yeah.
Branded himself, dog.
Like, look, like
I love to brand myself, champ. I try. That's why I do the straights. Clean, crispy, bouncy.
Yeah, when I saw Comic on that rooftop, I was like, oh snap, I see you.
Grandma can read that.
Yeah,
you could
for
read
sure.
that. You feel what I'm saying? A 4-year-old can read my graffiti.
Right. But there was also like some graffiti artists, like I remember there was this website, streetcrimes.com. Remember that? Street Crimes, I think is what it's called.
Art Crimes.
Art Crimes.
Art
What it
Crimes.
was. Artcrimes.com. And I came up on a color printer. And I was like, oh snap, I can print these out now and put them in my little binder.
There you go.
And one of my favorite, because they had it in alphabetical order, all the artists, right? And one of my favorite artists that I was browsing through was this guy named Evoke, right?
Evoke. Yeah.
Evoke. And his style, it looked like almost like kind of like a Gundam wing, like mad jagged.
For sure.
And mad complex. And you can tell that it took him a long ass time to do that piece, and even to develop himself to do that. And it's like, those pieces are crazy, but you can only do like one of them in the time that some other guys can do 100 solid ass throw ups, you know?
It's no lie that my buddy has a few issues. You know, people tend to ride over his stuff, and that's basically why I think my buddy draws the orange more than anything, because it's quick, it's easy to get in. He can get 100 oranges, where if he does 10 pieces and one gets ragged, it's such a mission to go back over and fix that piece. You know what I mean?
So,
go ahead.
No, I was gonna ask before you continue. Like, so when someone writes it over, do you like, no matter what, you gotta find that guy, or do you just be like, man, fuck that fool, let me just fix my piece?
Man, I'm 40. I keep it moving, champ. Yeah. I'm gonna let you know that I work harder, dog, and I'm not even stressing that spot. I'm gonna go back and fix my spot, and I'm gonna keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? There's so much space in Miami for you to sit there and grip and grime about one little spot and blah blah blah. Yo, if it's worth you that much, dog, right across the street, bro, there's a clean wall, champ. Are you afraid of that clean wall? Is it too hot for you? Or you just wanted to go over me because you didn't like me? It's totally fine, dog. I'm 40, like I say, bro. I got my own problem, my own bills, my kids I gotta deal with. I deal with my life. And that right there is my art scene. That's my style, that's my life, that's my other side. You know what I mean? But if you're trying to be on some, I'm gonna fist fight you, I'm gonna fucking shoot you, kill you, yo, go join a gang, dog. East Boyle Heights is hiring. They're looking for mad people out in LA to be in gangs. We good out here in Miami. I'm looking for the vibe. Yeah,
I remember there was this one graffiti artist, I can't remember his name, but like I remember he was like determined to find every single person that intentionally or like just by accident just wrote a little bit over his piece. I forgot his name, man. I don't want to misspeak, but like, yeah, some people was like really about that life. And I remember when I was a kid, right? Again, back in high school, you try to find your name, right?
Like, there's a difference between going tit for tat. You know what I mean? We may have like a playful little battle on the street. You know, Art went over me, I went over Art. Then we kind of both realized that like we can coexist, kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? But once it becomes to like fisticuffs and fuck your mother and writing shit on the walls, like, you know, that shit needs to slow down.
Well,
you know what I mean? It's a little tense at that point.
Even further than that, like, okay, so in high school, I was trying to find my name, and I started writing these little temporary names. And one day, I got a call. My phone in my living room rang, and I pick it up. It's one of those.
We all got that call one day.
Yeah, somebody found my house phone and was like, "Yo, is this whatever the name was that I was writing?"
Yes.
And I'm like, yeah, what's up?" Thinking it was like somebody that was trying to be cool with me. And
Yo,
he's
let's
like,
handle this, bro.
yeah, and he's like, yeah, exactly. He was like, "Yo, hey man, you writing my name, bro? I know where you live. I know you live here." Blah 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 blah. And he had my whole information.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Damn fool, my bad."
I've had idiots on the phone like, "Yo, I know where you live, I know where you work, and this and that." And it's like, all right, hey, good for you, bro. You know how to use Google. That's cute. But at the end of the day, you know, let's be honest. What are we really doing? We're destroying other people's property. So you're telling me that your placement of your illegal vandalism name is better than my placement? Like, yo, just coexist, bro. That's all I can say. You know what I mean? Go harder than me or don't go hard at all. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like in that sense, that's probably why, like, even when I in rapping, when I was still kind of going under certain stage names, one day I just decided to drop all that and I'll just go by my real name. Cause it's like, who else is gonna be called Art Morera? If I find somebody called Art Morera, like,
Yeah, he's probably 79 and he lives in Dominican Republic or some shit. You know what I'm saying? That's the other Art Morera.
I feel like if that was the
You know?
case, I'd probably get along with that person.
Absolutely.
But yeah, man. I mean, like, nah, I feel you, man. Like, it's a lot easier for somebody like you back on Atomic, like, to just write a trademark looking orange than to sit there and like very, very detailed write his name. And
Like, let me tell you, man. Do your homework on Atomic. Look up his pieces. I don't know nobody who puts in more work than Atomic. I ain't never met nobody that puts in more work than Atomic. Since I met the kid in like 95, 96, and he was all, "What's up, bro? You want to battle, bro? You write comic, I write Atomic." And I was like, oh shit, this nigga's the realest kid I've ever met in my life. And his Jan Sport's a little high right now. He's got the East Pack tied up. You know, I get it. But that dude's hip hop. You feel me? Since day one. And he's never really changed, which is crazy. But that's my dog. That's my family right there. You know what I mean? And Quake and some other close dudes I've known since I know Quake since he was 13 years old. Not many people can say they know, you know, their next homeboy since they were 13 years old. That's crazy.
yeah,
And they've known each other since they were probably 12 or so. And him and D-Tech and him and Scott, Detonate. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day. We're a close-knit group of people, you know? And a lot of us have known each other for better than 20 years. So it goes farther than just graffiti. It's a family. It's a brotherhood. It's a, you know, I think a lot of the graffiti and a lot of the punk rock and a lot of these things stem off of like team sports. I hate to like say team sports, but like the camaraderie. Does that make sense?
of course, yeah,
You know,
for sure.
you know, you got your back. I got your back. My boys got my back. No matter what, we one voice. We all got the same message. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Yeah, I remember also like Junk used to tell me like how every now and then he'll go like with some homies, and let's say I'm in a crew with you and I go out one night but you're not there, I'll just do a quick write up of your name too.
Yeah, put me up. What's up, dog? Put me up. That's like the biggest joke in the world, though. Hey, your homie's like, "What's up, bro? I'm going to Puerto Rico." You're like, "Yo, bro, what's up? Hey, have a good trip, man. Hey, do me a favor, put me up." You know, it's just like a flattery thing. And you know, you hang with your homies, they throw you up. We ragged on one of the homeboys just recently because he went to Puerto Rico and he threw up like, I don't know, like 15 names. Now, mind you, MSG has a crew base of probably like 80 names. You know, so he forgot my name. I'm like, "What's up, bro? You don't put me up, dog?" And he's like, "Oh, damn." And then like 19 other heads were like, "Yeah, dog, you don't throw me up either. What's good, bro?" And he's like, "Ah, my bad, bro." It's just, you know, it's a form of flattery. But we'll, you know, especially in my crew, you don't be involved in the DMs, dog. It gets down in the DMs, my dude. It's rough. You gotta have a thick skin to roll in my crew in the DMs.
Is MSG spread out beyond South Florida?
Yeah. We're nationwide. I'm not sure about worldwide. I know 28 is. That's my other clique that I hang with. 28's definitely a worldwide crew. But MSG, we got some heads out on the West Coast, and throughout the Central States and up on the East Coast of Florida. Chrome's back in action, handling business with the crew. Heavy hitter status. And yeah, bro, big things to come in 2019, champ. We're doing a lot of heavy walls.
What are some things that you did to just legitimize your artwork, man? I know you mentioned earlier that you do designs on like dollar bills, or you do like commission pieces.
Hell
like,
no, I don't do shit like these guys do, bro. My crew, they got some levels to this shit where they handle business, bro. And let's just face it, it's a base of technology thing that I'm just not with it yet. I wish I was. All these cats Photoshop and they do, this, that, and the third for t-shirt printing. I started t-shirt printing, who taught two of the biggest heads in the game in Miami right now. My boy Gary, my neighbor, Gary Lichman from Florida Sun T-shirts, taught Rudy Mage how to print from Inked. Ink Pro. You ever seen those shit?
Ink Pro,
so
for sure.
He taught Rudy how to print. He taught Crook, who works at Cushy Gigs, like Mike Printing, you know what I mean? Like, he taught that fool how to paint print t-shirts, and I hated that job because I worked next to him and it sucked. I fucking hate that job. So I'm more of a rudimentary guy, whereas all these dudes have moved forward with this digital movement. They got with the times, Procreate and all this stuff. I'm a stalemate,
But man, like, as much as like it's a lot easier to scroll up past something than to get handed off like a flyer or a sticker and then make the decision to like throw that shit away. Like the same way that you just scroll past it.
For sure. No, I get what you're saying. Like, I definitely believe like that old school, tangibleness. Like, that's why I like drawing on things. You understand what I'm saying? I would much rather draw on things than like make a sticker of my maps or something like that. I'd rather be like, yo, I drew a map today. You know what I'm saying? Like, here's my map. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the kind of feel. I like that stuff better.
Word. I have to get back to like just making physical copies and like stickers of my shit, man. Because right now everything's digital, and I noticed it's either one thing or another. Because before I had everything up online, everyone was like, "Yo, are you on iTunes?" And I'm like, "Nah, fuck, I gotta figure that out." And then now all my shit is on Apple Music and Spotify, and then somebody will be like, "You got a sticker?" I was like, "Fuck."
Yeah. Like, what's your website? Yo, eat shit, motherfucker. Like, let me
damn
buy
it,
dude. Can somebody just listen to the music for once? Buy a CD. Excuse me. Fuck. My bad.
Yeah.
Can somebody buy a CD?
Yeah. Man, like
I just date myself by saying CD?
Nah, CDs, bro. I feel like all that shit still matters, bro. Like, some people, it's like no matter what you look up online, like you'll find somebody that can support your argument and go against it. It doesn't matter what you look up. So you'll look up somebody that will say, "Hey, CDs are dead," and then somebody else will be like, "Actually, CDs and vinyls and cassettes are making a comeback." It just depends on, I don't know, man. Like, when I try to listen to somebody, I just get more confused than before I looked it up.
Absolutely.
So like, actually, I'm kind of in the process right now of investing in. I want to get a printer, like a vinyl printer, so I can have my own stickers and banners.
Well, if you don't and you want a guy, I'm not gonna plug his shop right now, but I'm gonna plug his shop. But Miami Sign Shop, my boy Dave Benedetto. Such a hard last name to say.
He needs a nickname.
David De Benedetto.
Damn.
Yeah, but he runs Miami Sign Shop, and he's got that little vinyl on lockdown there up in North Miami.
When I was in California, there was only one person, an hour away from where I was staying at, because I was in North California.
North Cal.
There was one guy that had a CD printing shop, and he was taxing. It came out to like $3 per CD.
They're all like that, champ.
No, not in Miami.
CD Depot.
Nah, not at all, bro. I'm saying
makers.
Like Miami. That's one thing I took for granted. Miami has so many print shops.
Yeah, but you're in the armpit of America, dog. It's lucrative if you're doing hip hop or trance or some fucking shit like that, But punk rock, you ain't making a dime down here, bro. It's rough.
You feel like the genre of punk rock is kind of stale right now, like as far as
it's been like that since the 90s. I'm not trying any punk rock bands. There's good punk rock coming out of Miami. Don't get it twisted, but the bands that actually make it out of Miami, few and far between, bro.
You know, man,
Sucks.
like
Fucking sucks.
I know that you do graffiti, and that's the way that I was introduced to you. But and I know that, you know, now that I came over, you told me you do punk rock. But if you really want to get into this topic of music in Miami, I'm totally down for that, because I struggle with that conversation all the time, man.
Why is that? You don't know any musicians in Miami? Is that the problem?
No, the opposite, man. Like bro, I'm super active in the scene, in the Miami music scene, but I have some gripes with it because I feel like not enough people truly make it out of Miami that was involved in the quote unquote the scene. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know, a lot of problems in Miami are people don't fucking like. Now it's getting cool to rep the 305, but since I can remember, 90s, early 2000s, mid 2000s, dude, you ask somebody where you're from, they're like, oh, I'm from South Florida. Yo, South Florida means anything south of the fucking lake, champ. All right, so why don't you tell me something like, I'm from Miami, I'm from West Kendall. Let those record labels know that there's fucking vibe out here. You know what I mean? There's viable assets. There's people that can actually, you know, put out some content, bro. But you keep telling people we're from South Florida. That means Orlando. That means Tampa. You know what I mean? Like, you ain't really selling it for us down here, bro. So we're kind of like in the armpit of America, dog. I like people like Mike Smith, local cats. You know, they try to do their thing. They try to. You get what I'm saying? And those are the strugglers. Those are the hustlers, bro. Trick Daddy lucked the fuck out, dude.
Yeah, because when you think of Miami hip hop, right? The first person you think of obviously is like, let's say Rick Ross, Trick Daddy, Uncle Luke, JT Money, Trina, and then now you have certain people that rep South Florida, like the Puyas.
How did I not say Uncle Luke? That's crazy, right? I probably should be smacked.
Nah, it's straight, because Uncle Luke was
or booty.
You know, yeah, exactly.
I definitely went to my pack jams back in the night.
So like, you know, excuse me, but I feel like when it comes down to just Miami music, I spent years like just involving myself in I went to every single event that I can get a flyer on. I would battle, I would sign up to the battles, I would join all the ciphers, I would perform my music,
sure,
this and this and that. And then I look back and it's like 10 years have gone by, and I think about, okay, who from the group of people that I was frequenting events with has, you know, quote unquote made it, you know, like making a full-time living off their music, influencing hip-hop on a large level. Because the only one that I can think of at the moment is maybe Recognized from Mayday. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah. Mayday was a popular. They did their thing for sure.
And
I mean, I could say there's one band that made it. That, you know, you got Loco por Juanas.
Right, Locos por Juana for sure.
They did really good, you know. But I call those like anomalies, you know. Like, it's like the one in the millions that fucking. It's almost like the NFL living in Florida. You move to New York, LA, you know, any one of these scenes where they just tend to produce people. Look, tell me how many bands or groups come down here at Florida. You know why they don't come down here? Because it costs a lot of money if you're driving to go from Athens, Georgia to Jacksonville all the way the fuck down to Miami and hit Orlando and Miami. 700-mile drive. That's a long ways to go, bro, to make X amount of dollars.
I just feel like aside from the national touring acts not really coming down here too much, you know, like somebody from, let's say, like that's still underground, they'll drop something, right, and they'll post it on social media, and everyone from Miami's like, yo, that shit's fire, bruh. Hey, that shit's fire. This and that. Like, you'll tell me it's fire, but I don't see none of these guys really promoting it to all their friends, aside from just complimenting the guy. So it kind of almost starts to come off a little bit like you're doing your due diligence of supporting somebody from your city to keep his morale high.
Yeah.
Not because you're really, really, truly enjoying their music.
Sure.
Which starts to come off a little patronizing, you know?
I'll tell you, one of my favorite guys, bro, from out here, say what you want to say. I don't know if you know the old school homie Serum.
Yo, I know Serum. He's been on my podcast, bro.
Fucking love Serum,
I have a song with Serum that hasn't come out yet, and I think you'd like the song too, man. It's a song called Paint.
Serum, the dope fiend, loving that smoke.
See,
don't
Serum,
know the meaning of water nor soap.
I feel like Serum has everything it takes. Serum has it to. He just got off tour with KRS-One, so shout out to Serum, you know.
But Serum's in the armpit of Miami. Armpit of America. He's in Miami. He's way the fuck down here, bro. And it's so fucking hard to get out. That to me, that's a really great and talented artist.
And good and a good dude.
A good dude. No, I don't. We're talking about two different things. He's a great dude, okay?
You know what I'm
but
saying?
He's also a very talented artist. That no disrespect to him or anything. It's the system and the scene. I hope he gets recognized, bro, because down here it's so fucking tough, dude. He's not with the flashy fucking styles and times. He's not doing trap right now because my dog doesn't do that. My dog does boom bap. And ain't nothing wrong with that. You understand what I'm saying? So, but chances of him getting noticed right now doing boom bap, if he went to fucking Harlem or some other place where they have fucking people that are doing boom bap right now, he'd probably have a better chance. You know what I'm saying? It sucks being down here, dog. Sometimes.
As much as I love my city, as much as I love Miami, and we take for granted the weather, because once you go to Atlanta, Georgia, you realize what you're really missing out on being from down here. But like, this place is a vacation city.
Man, this place is click oriented, bro. I used to work for the Miami Heat, dog. We fucking won the championship. The very next season, we lost fucking ridiculous amount of home games. We had a 15-win season. These dudes were like, kill these bums. And I'm like, how dare you have the audacity to fucking root for the Miami Heat one season and then fucking hate them the next season? Can it not be a rebuilding year? Can you guys just have faith in one thing? People don't do that in Miami, bro. They hop. It's just the way it goes, dog. There's too many fucking things for us to do out here. Too many things to excite you. You know what I mean? Between the Graffiti Wynwood thing, the fucking South Beach thing, Winter Music Fest, fucking Ultra Music Fest, and you got fucking Bob Marley Fest, and you got, Junkanoo Festival. You got all kinds of shit going on throughout the fucking year. Cayocho. You know what I'm saying? It never stops in Miami, bro. So for you to latch on to one person and be like, oh, I put all my eggs in the basket. Pitbull, somehow he did amazing out here, bro. But it took him a long time to get from fucking Sunset High School on out. You know what I'm saying? It took him a long time for him to like establish himself and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, even with Pitt, like, people forget that he used to like be passing out his CDs outside of venues, like religiously.
You gotta grind, bro.
And then it didn't really truly pop off for him until he started doing all those Miami freestyles on the radio, Miami versions of records that were popular because Power 96 was really backing him. And then when he linked up with Lil Jon is when it really blossomed for him, because now he linked up with somebody outside of South Florida.
Mm-hmm. That has connections.
That was already big because Lil Jon was Lil Jon. So
and what isn't Lil Jon out of like Atlanta area, something like that?
He's from Atlanta.
Okay, so at the end of the day, if you want to look at it on a map, Atlanta is that's where the cutoff is. Do you follow me?
Yeah, it's the closest. It's the closest that we have outside of.
That's our LA hub. You understand what I'm saying? Like things go to Atlanta just as quick as they go to Miami. They only go to Miami because there's affluent people here in Miami. If they didn't have to come to Miami, brother, people would just bypass our fucking state altogether.
And like now, like, mind you, because I'm saying this because you told me how. I mean, I don't know. Tell me if I'm wrong, but like, I don't really catch the vibe that you're really too much in the current loop of what things are going on in the music scene.
Man, I couldn't tell you this from that, dude.
Right. Okay. So
I just don't.
So what's going on?
I live
now,
in the '90s, champ.
Yeah, in a weird way. So do I. but like, what's going on now, right? In South Florida, or for hip hop, is that cats that grew up in the Serum era.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? These guys are still striving to kind of like make their mark, and time has gone by, and now the cats that were much younger than them are in their 20s, and they're making their mark now. But instead of those guys being like, oh yeah, by the way, everybody that came before me, shouts out to all y'all. It's actually the opposite. They're saying, man, fuck all y'all old heads. Like, it's about us now. It's mad, like,
grimy, mean.
Yeah. And I remember when I was in my early 20s, I was showing mad appreciation to people that can't. Man, to me, Serum is a legend, recognized as a legend. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I just met another kid who, to me, has that essence, and I'm so sorry.
Nah, it's straight.
For the goddamn podcast.
It's straight. There's no, I don't cut anything off here, so it's all good. A chair just fell. Fuck. Nah, it's straight. So you met a kid, all right? He's about the essence.
So I met a kid who has the essence of hip hop as well, And crazy enough, I didn't know he was even connected to my crew until he rapped about it, and I listened, and I was like, yo, this dude just said that and he goes, yeah, bro, his brother's so-and-so. And I said, are you fucking kidding me? And so now it makes more sense why this kid holds the hip-hop thing just like Serum does, the boom bap, the old school style. This kid, YK Hamilton, I knew him as Jabberjaw. That's how I met him.
Oh yeah, I know Jabberjaw. I don't know him personally, but yeah, Jabberjaw.
That's another kid. Got he has it. You know what I'm saying? And he's got the good flow, and he's got the good spit and the good lyric, and I love it, dude. I love those two cats as far as it goes for like local hip hop heads. I'm sure a lot of hip hop heads are pissed off at me right now, but at the end of the day, if it doesn't end up in my household, bro, I deal with two kids daily. That's my life when I get home. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not on the fucking web searching who's popping and who. You know what I mean? Like I don't have that time anymore. You know what I mean? So if somebody puts me on to somebody, I go, oh shit, that guy's local. That's the homie. You know what I mean? So I like them kind of dudes, bro.
Yeah, I just hope, one of the reasons why I started this podcast is to kind of like I wanted to create a platform, right? Where all these cats that, that we mentioned or whatever, I noticed that they weren't really getting too much interviews, exposure on that end, because they're putting out all this music, they're really grinding hard, but no one's really looking out for them on that level. And I'm like, you know what, man? Like we need to create our own platform.
Sure. So
that way that when you look up cats like the ones that we mentioned, you have this hour-plus conversation where they really break it down. And I've noticed that, man, like it's so important. It's kind of like graffiti, like no one's gonna know your name if you don't put it up.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So I'm hoping that the outcome of everyone's efforts right in South Florida is that they realize that there's a lot of dope shit down here, and even if you don't bump it, even if you don't personally bump it, if you can acknowledge it for being dope, and you can put somebody onto it that you suspect would like it, that's like a selfless act.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something right now, and I think anybody that's ever lived here or come across the Miami vibe, and I think you could probably attest to this, Art. We don't care about you. Like, we don't. We're Miami, bro. Real talk. Love us or hate us, we don't care. We don't. Like, we're going to do us. And, unfortunately, like, if the whole country never hears of Serum, that's my Serum. You understand? I don't know if that makes sense at all.
Yeah, there's this rapper named Copyright. He has a line like that. He goes, we got 16-year-old net heads buying garbage, trying to make use of their own personal private artists. It's like,
I like that.
You make these guys become your little secret.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand that. I mean, I can't really argue that. But damn, dog, like
I don't care whatever happens. Like, some people tell me, they're like, bro, fucking dudes in New York, did you see this? Or dudes in LA, did you see this? And sometimes I'm just like, nah, I didn't. I follow Miami graffiti. I follow Miami music. I follow this. I follow that Miami style.
Maybe it's like a fear of missing out, or like people, like I deal with that because, I make music, and I mean, I do other things aside from my music. And, man, you just want to fucking make it. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's just something that I just...
But make it how, bro?
Like, make it like not have to work at a regular place.
People do that, man. My buddy at Cushy Gigs, they do it over there. Atomic, he does it. Doesn't work. That's what he does. Art. Cushy Gigs, they do t-shirts, they do printing, they do art.
Like, look, I have this van, right? And when I get off probation, I'm gonna be struggle touring, until it's not a struggle no more.
It's all good.
And I cannot wait to struggle tour. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I can't fucking wait to wake up sweaty as fuck from how hot it gets in the van, but knowing that I'm doing it to chase my dream.
Don't die in there.
Well, I hope that my dog doesn't die. Like, I'm gonna make
Your
sure
dog's
I keep...
in there right now?
No, he's not.
I was like, holy shit,
no,
bro.
No, he's not, of course not.
FYI, there's no dog being harmed.
No,
there's no dog in this
not,
guy's
man.
van.
My dog Morty's doing good.
ASAP.
But like, man, I have like a couple homies, right, that we grew up making music at the same time, and then I see them now just kind of like losing a little hope from it. I try to like, nah, man, chill. Like
because
fuck,
because
you
they've lost the drive, they've lost the passion, and it happens, bro. It happens in every form of, like I did. I lost the drive, I lost the passion, doing certain things, and then I started doing other things, graffiti wise or art wise and music wise, and then I did music really heavily, and until it got complacent, and I felt like it's going nowhere, and then you have to like change it up, bro. And that's the thing about life, you gotta always change it up. If shit ain't working, if you ain't got no ripples in your pond, homie, you gotta make ripples in your pond. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Life's a fucking little pond, and if there's no movement, your life is stagnant. You need to fucking throw a pebble in it, change it up, do something about it.
Yeah.
You can sit there
absolutely.
and cry and complain.
Yeah, no. Einstein has this said this one time. He goes, "Nothing happens till something moves,"
or nothing happens till something happens. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing.
And if we don't put it upon ourselves, man, to write our story, bro, it's not gonna get written.
100%.
So it's like, I hope everyone listening out there, if you are struggling with fulfilling what you believe your life story is gonna be, like, the only one that's really stopping you is yourself, man. And if you feel like you gotta take a little break to collect yourself, that's okay, because Komik went back to it after 10 years, right?
10 long years.
10 years, that's wild.
I didn't even pick up a pen. I didn't write on a wall. I didn't fucking nothing. I did music heavy, like I was on heroin. I wasn't on heroin. I'm saying like I did music like it was an addiction, like heavily, to keep me involved.
What do you do? What do you do when you are not in the mood to do art or music?
What do I do?
Yeah, like in between responsibilities, right? When you have downtime and you just not in the mood to do some graffiti or some write-ups, and you're not really in the mood to play the guitar or whatever. Like, what else do you do? If anything else.
Smoke weed.
Cool. Yeah, that's what's up, man. For sure.
I like to drink wine. I'd smoke weed and drink good wine. That's kind of like what I do.
Bro, I remember, man, when I was out west, man, like, it got to the point where, like, if I'm not making music, it's like at all times I was either breaking up weed, rolling up a joint, looking for the joint because I dropped it, or like I'll just post up somewhere and I'll just fucking smoke. And I remember, man, like, when you're out there in North California, there's a lot of mountains,
Of course.
And
Mendocino area?
Humboldt County.
Humboldt, yeah.
Yeah. I was out in Humboldt County, right? And I'll be up on top of this mountain, right? It's this mountain by this town called Alder Point. And there's this road when you go all the way up to the top of Alder Point, and it's called, what is this road called, man? Damn. I know I'm going to remember this later, and I'm going to be really upset that I couldn't haunt you all night. Yeah, I couldn't recall it. Bell Springs Road.
Bell Springs Road.
Bell Springs Road. So you go down Bell Springs Road, right? And it's not even pavement, it's just dirt, and old cars that were abandoned, and somebody saw that there was an abandoned car there, and they would just light it on fire. So you see these like remnants of an old car, and you'll see all these scenic views, and every now and then you'll see this one other white pickup truck pull up, and the people don't really want to be seen, so they don't make eye contact with you.
The growers.
And then there's this one store. It's one random, you couldn't zoom into it on your GPS. It's just this one random off-grid store. And you just ask them, like, how far is it from the 101, the highway? And they'll tell you, this far. But you got to be cool about it. And I remember I pulled over to the side of that road, Bell Springs Road, right? Just to smoke and appreciate the view. And there's this one random little street sign, just random, a little street sign. I forgot what it says. It's just in between some trees. And I had a couple stickers of my album, and I was like, man, you know what, let me hit this little sign
Throw
up.
a little sticker up, yeah.
And I peeled it and I put it up on that sign, and that was like 5 years ago, and I don't even know if it's still there. But whoever drove up and down that Bell Springs Road and saw my little face on that sticker, like, I wonder if, because if you go up and down that road, you probably frequent that road often.
You see shit. It's natural for the eye.
So you'd be like, oh, somebody hit that up.
Out of place.
And I wonder if that's what it's like for people that actively do graffiti, where they're like, you know what, man,
100%.
it's not even about if you recognize me. It's more for me to know that it's there.
Yep.
You know?
I often tag when I go fishing. I don't know why. Every time I go fishing in a certain place, I throw a tag. Part of it's to like remind myself that I've been there, and the other part of it is to like let people know that I've also been there. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's both. It's like
It's almost primal.
it's like a checkpoint.
It's primal. It's like, oh shit, another person has been here. They may not know it's a person, but they see scribble on the wall. They know it's me.
That's
know
like
it's a person.
that's like your footprint, your carbon footprint. You know?
Word.
Damn, that's hard, man.
Tripping, huh?
It is, man, and that's what I love about hip hop so much, because hip hop is like, you know, it's your form of expression. And although I never got into learning how to DJ, and I never had it in me to become a breakdancer, I always got into graffiti and to rap, right? And I feel like those are the two most immortalized elements.
Yeah, I
of
never
hip-hop.
understood like embodying all 5 elements. Like, I don't breakdance. You ain't gonna see me breakdance. I'm just never gonna breakdance. Does that mean I'm any less hip hop than you are? Does that mean anybody out there that can breakdance is more hip hop than me? That's subjective, bro. I don't think so. You know?
Yeah, I don't think so either. Like, even though some cats, like, for example, like the KRS ones, and they'll be like, nah, if you really want to truly experience hip hop, you gotta dabble in all the elements. Like, I saw this video where they inducted, I think it was like the 13th element of hip hop.
The 13th
and
element,
it was,
huh?
hey, now this new element of hip hop is health and wellness.
Oh,
and I'm like,
my God.
come on, man.
Let's not get crazy.
Come on, man.
Let's be cool.
So it's like,
yeah, nah. I sympathize with the rap. Like, I was just talking about the other day. I was at work, and there's this little dreadlock homie over there, Pat. He's a little rapper, rhymer and shit. I just got in the box, and I was in some mood, and I just was like, yeah, I break backs and fucking spinach. You know, I was just talking shit, just whatever, dog. It was just rhyming and fun, you know. And he's like, yo, I didn't know you rhyme. I was like, I don't rhyme, bro. But I think we all kind of like, back in the day, played around with that shit. You know what I mean? We just kind of like, I don't know. We heard the Grandmaster Flashes and all these dudes, so we just decided to write a little rap and see how it sounded, you know?
yeah, like when I was dabbling with breakdancing, I was in middle school. I had just gotten a Lacoste t-shirt, and I saw these kids doing windmills in the grass, and I decided to get into it. And I did a windmill, and I drilled my shoulder so deep into the grass that it turned it into dirt. And that dirt got like so deep into my shirt, and it was my brand new shirt, and I was like, all right, I don't know if this is for me, because I really liked this shirt.
Yeah, I got a homie about your size, no disrespect. Oh, he's a big boy, you know? But him and his brother Force, yo, they used to get down in Devonair, right? I seen this homie do it online the other day. I'm like, are you fuck? I said, Daddy, you already? He's like, champ, you never lose it. Like, you know, and he was up rocking, fucking hit the floor and shit. I was like, dog, he did the Fat Albert, you know, and I was like, dog, my dog, he can still get it, you know. And he was just that was his style, you know what I mean? And they wore the Adidas fucking pants and the whole like hip hop vibe, you know what I mean? Yeah. And they looked the Run DMC part shit with the shell toes and spinning on their heads and shit. Like, that was a good part of hip hop too, man. We had a blast looking at that.
It was, man. I really hope that the authentic form of hip hop still gets kept alive, man. Like in some shows.
Did you ever see, not to cut you off, my homeboy Zeno and his sister Beta?
Nah.
Never saw them break, huh?
Nah.
Yeah, they're fucking hella crazy good, man.
Yeah, like, you know, man, when I think about, you know, just the authentic form of hip hop with the DJing and the DJ battles and the break battles and the people, they'll take the t-shirt and they'll flip it over one time and then tie that on top of their head. Remember that? How they'll tie the t-shirts on their head? Sure. Like a hat?
Sure.
And they'll do the head spins and all that. When I think about that, I was like, man, I really grew up in a dope time, bro, because that's when I feel like not only just hip-hop in general, but Miami hip-hop was truly unified.
Yeah.
You know?
I think in like 2008 and 9, I was going to a lot of these like B-boy jams and stuff, and it was like really dope.
Yeah,
you know?
man. Like, shout out to like a Breaker's Dozen.
There you go.
Who can roast the most?
Sure, who can roast the most? There you go.
You know, the Polish American Club had a lot of jams.
You know, it's funny. We played a lot of punk rock shows at the Polish American Club.
What would you say are some venues that punk rock still lives in Miami today? You said Churchill's.
See, I hate Churchill's though, bro. No offense to the fucking new owners and shit, but when the previous owners owned it, the shit was actually pretty cool. Mr. C was a cool guy, you know. Fucking. Then I don't know what happened, dog. They changed owners. Everybody became uptight, and they tried to run it like a fucking business. And it's kind of hard to change regimes and shit when you got the same shitty interior, same shitty exterior, same fucking hustlers on the fucking street, fucking parking your cars, but then you're an asshole now. Like, yeah, this shit doesn't work with me, dog. Sorry. There's some people that are grandfathered in and they just walk into that club whenever the fuck they want, and then like you pick and choose who you fucking want in there. That's bullshit. Anyways, I'm not gonna gripe like I'm a little petty bitch, but yeah, I've been playing there for a long time. It's a good venue. You know what I mean? Big bands do come through there, some semi-big bands. But another great place that I went to that I was shocked at was Las Rosas.
I gotta pass by there. I keep hearing about Las Rosas.
It's what it is, bro. Like, no, you know, my boys' Cushy Gigs are right there on north of 29th Street on 7th Ave right there, and Las Rosas is a block away. It's a little hood spot. Okay, you can get jacked up out there. It's not a, you know, I'm not saying it's like a bad area, but it's definitely not the nicest area in the world. Don't get it twisted, you know. But the interior of the club, yo, the sound system's fucking bomb. It sounds great. I heard a couple good bands there. My homie played drums the other night. Heavy. It sounded great. I was really surprised. I was like, wow, dude, this little club is putting out this quality of sound. You know what I mean? So I say Las Rosas for Miami. Fucking them and Churchill's. Other than that, bro, I couldn't tell you punk rock wise.
All right. You know what? It's probably better that like it's not so easily known where the rest of the spots are at.
Yeah.
It's like Pincho, man. You just got to kind of find them.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
So, yo, you know what, man? Actually, on that note, I think it's probably a good time. It's a good note to end on, man.
All right.
But yo, Komik, you want to tell people like anything that you're working on at the moment before we wrap up here?
We're doing the mouth of Florida City down there. Me and the homie Drip, D-Block, and Chink. We're doing a Welcome to Florida City on Chrome Ave and 345th, just to kind of kick it off down there. Looking to do some more jobs down there and get Florida City cracking with some art. But for my schedule, it's just a day-to-day thing. I'm gonna paint when I paint, you know.
Word up, man. One day at a time, for sure.
That's it, bro. I don't really have much going on, but yeah, you can hit me on Instagram at Komik28, Komik28.
Komik28. On that note, everybody, man, I really appreciate y'all listening, man. You know, we're just trying to inform you all of things going on in South Florida with hip hop, with just art, music, just the culture down here. With that being said, man, one last note. If y'all haven't heard, this project that I put out is called Transit City. It's also another project called Good Grief. I put these out last year in 2018. Yo, check it out, man. Like, this is what I do. You know what I'm saying? I put my heart and soul into my music as well. And feel free to drop a line, bro. Like, I didn't have social media back then. And the fact that we do now, where y'all can just interact with us and just let us know what y'all think of what we do, that's dope, man. You know, so shout out to MSG. Shout out to 28
crew.
You know what I'm saying?
Dale.
And we out of here, guys. Peace.
Peace.
Medianoche.
Medianoche.
Medianoche. Medianoche.
Podcast.
Medianoche.
Podcast.
Medianoche.
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 Podcast.